We wanted to have the love affair, the romance between Lois and Superman, the relationship between Clark and Lois, to be so central so that at the end, when she does fall into that crack in the earthquake and he's turning the world backwards, that you really feel there's something there.
Hi.
The qualities that we were looking for in Lois Lane to complement Christopher Reeve were sweetness, a certain whimsy, and of course, a sense of humor.
God, so many people tested for Lois Lane.
Every actress in New York or Los Angeles and out of Canada who was in the appropriate age and had the quality that we were searching for read for Lois Lane.
So this girl came in, and I mean, she didn't walk in the door, she tripped in. Margot is a klutz, a born accident waiting to happen.
I think I arrived on the set in cowboy boots and a cowboy hat, which horrified Christopher. I remember being quite nervous, looking over at Superman, who was the skinniest, dorkiest thing I'd ever seen, and going, that's Superman? Something's wrong with this picture.
The first thing that Dick Donner had to do to work with her was to get her to stop swaggering, because she wore cowboy boots and kind of barrel-legged from having ridden so much.
How did you know that?
There were so many great readings and so many excellent tests, but somehow Margot Kidder had the magic.
Smile.
How many T's in bloodletting? How do you spell massacre?
There's only one P in rapist. Lois Lane, say hello to Clark Kent. Told you one P.
Dick Donner is the biggest kid on the block, and his sense of playfulness really is what gave the movie its magic.
What he did as a director is the sign to me always of a really good director. Each one of us was directed in a different way according to our needs. And he figured out very early on one's vulnerability as an actor, one's strength, and helped you that way. He knew that if he got my energy up, got me giggling, and then let me roar into a scene, that you never knew what would happen, and that often something very funny and good would come out of it. So he would do that with me. He'd joke with me, he'd tease me relentlessly, pull practical jokes and always get me.
Does he have a girlfriend?
I broke it down the way an actress normally would. She's in love with Superman, so she behaves one way with him in a rather little girlish, sort of flustered, cooey way.
Sorry, Miss Lane. I didn't mean to embarrass you.
Oh, you didn't embarrass me.
And then when she was with Clark, who was easily dismissible as a romantic suitor, she was kind of more ballsy and, just kind of tossed him off.
Of course.
Margot and I were like brother and sister. We really cared a lot about each other, but we had very, very different styles of working.
And Christopher felt very strongly about staying in character all the time.
I was 24 and dead serious, with dead being the operative word there, really.
I, on the other hand, got really bored during the flying scenes because there were Chris and I strapped together for 10, 12, 14 hours a day. So I would hide books down my front or try and tease Chris, and he'd be go, shut up. And we would bicker and bicker and bicker, and the poor crew would look away, and they'd go action, and then suddenly we'd be madly in love, and then they'd go cut, and we'd go back to our bickering. And at one point I remember Christopher said, don't you stay in character. And I said, oh, Chris, for God's sake, I've been Lois Lane for a year now, and all we have to do is look left. And he stayed like this.
I mean, I just took this thing like it was a Bible. Her charm shined through and made her very lovable, very adorable. And audiences really responded, I think.
When people say a film crew becomes a family, we really became a family in a way that I've just never had before. My daughter was part of the family. We were so close that the relationships between all of us were real, genuine relationships. There's just no question about that. They were deep, they were long-lasting. And Dick really took care of us.